Dr. Fishman, welcome back.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
You recently reported that your phase 3 psoriasis study had achieved 75% enrollment. Tell us, why is this milestone important and what can investors expect going forward?
Actually, it is very important since it seems that we are quite close to complete patient enrollment, and we have already announced that we envision the data from this clinical study, top-line results will be announced towards end of this year. So we are getting close, and we think that investors are waiting to see the data. We are very positive based on the interim analysis data, which we were blinded to. However, there was a committee, an IDMC independent committee, which was on top of the data, and they actually recommended to continue patient enrollment based on both efficacy and safety. So if the data will be reproducible, it's going to be very good. And it's going to be on Q4 this year.
You expanded your phase 2 COVID study into Europe in April. What is the current status of this program?
Actually, we also envision that we will be able to come up with data during Q4 this year. We decided to expand it in order to mix the population and to expedite the enrollment. And also based on the fact that in Israel there are no patients anymore. So we think we will do very well with this study.
You have signed out licensing deals with potential milestone payments exceeding $130 million. Talk to us about these relationships. How much money have you received to date from the programs?
Yes, thank you. So today we have already received all of the upfront money, which sums up to $20 million, which is a non-dilutive money the Can-Fite has already received. Then we got additional like $2 million based on regulatory milestones. Of course, as far as we are progressing with all our programs, more regulatory milestone payments will be received to Can-Fite, both regulatory and also sales milestone payments. And of course, last but not least, we need to remember that we are going to get double-digit royalties when each of our drugs will be registered with the regulatory authorities, meaning FDA or EMA. So taken together, we are heading towards more business development activities, which hopefully result with the signature of more deals, which will enable to Can-Fite to expand the upfront, the regulatory, the milestone payments, and the royalties.
In February, you announced positive data from your phase 2 liver cancer study. What milestones can investors expect moving forward?
Yes, actually, both the FDA and the EMA gave us a green light regarding a pivotal phase 3 study protocol, which we are going to initiate towards end of this year. I mean, initiate patient enrollment. This study will include, at the end of the day, 450 patients. We will have an interim analysis, so we will be able to know quite shortly after we will initiate enrollment if the study is going with a positive direction, and we do envision that it will. We do have a fast track with the FDA and orphan drug status with both the FDA and the EMA. So we are also very positive regarding this indication. You may know that Can-Fite is the only company in the world which treat a real advanced patients which suffer from liver cancer, who are defined as Child-Pugh patients, and this is why we have been encouraged by the authorities to initiate the pivotal phase 3 clinical study.
Tell us about your management team. Who are some of the key players?
So starting with our chairman and also the co-founder, he owns the largest IP firm in Israel, and he's an expert in managing patents, the IP portfolio in biotechnology company. He's a worldwide expert, and we are very lucky to have him on board. This is Dr. Ilan Cohn. And then we have on board the management, which entails myself. I have lots of experience regarding scientific activities, regarding also drug development, and lots of managerial experience. The same is true for Moti Farbstein, who is the company CFO and has a 20 years experience in managing finance. And then we have our medical director and also our VP of drug development, two key opinion leaders in the US, which work for big pharmaceutical companies and were successful to register each one of them more than 10 small molecule drugs with the FDA. So we are embarking on their experience and very lucky to have them on board.
Let's look at the big picture. What is the essential value proposition? Why should investors take an interest in Can-Fite today?
Thank you. So actually, during the last couple of months or year, we came up with a clinical proof of concept for our platform technology. As far as we are making progress with our clinical development programs, it of course creates lots of value for investors. Of course, I'm not talking about the patients which are waiting for our drugs to be launched, and it goes side by side with the value for investors. We need to keep in mind that we are developing small molecule, orally bioavailable drugs, which is a huge advantage over, for example, biological drugs that are given via injection or infusion. Also, our drugs have an excellent safety profile. And talking about indications like psoriasis, which is a chronic disease, and patients need to take the drug for all their lifetime. So safe drug is a very good one for this patient population. And last but not least, and the most important thing, is the efficacy, which I have already mentioned, that we came up with very strong clinical proof of concept. All these together give huge advantage for investors, and we are of course waiting that both patients and investors will benefit from our technology.
As always, a fascinating story, Dr. Fishman. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for your questions. Thank you.